So in today's video, we've got a couple of replays in the Type 59, which is in this season's season pass, level 75. It's a tier 8 Chinese medium tank, and it's got preferential matchmaking. Pref just means it's tier 8, but it never sees tier 10 tanks. So I do like preferential matchmaking tanks, obviously. The downside with these tanks is that I tend to find their penetration is fairly low for the tier that they're at. Penetration for this tank is 181 for the standard and 241 for the premium rounds. 181, that would be no use at all at tier 10. I do have quite a few of the standard rounds. I think it's around about 50-50. I keep it, but with 250 damage, it's pretty good when it does hit. Reloads quite quick as well. Nice DPM. It's just that standard penny is a little on the low side. We're just on this corner here. Artillery was firing. I wasn't too sure which direction it was firing from, and seeing the shells coming from that direction, a little bit surprising. It's obviously in the bottom left corner somewhere. We get a lucky fire there. See if my allies can just take that enemy tank down. They do. Got the BZ-176 here. I was thinking it was going to stop, but it put its boosters on, so I don't know if that was an accidental boost or what, but he's trying to boost out of trouble now, and artillery gets him. So yeah, not too sure if that was an accidental button push on for the BZ-176, or if I'm not really sure otherwise what the full process of that was. But we're just pushed up onto this side. I tend to find that once you get into this position, you can now start spotting the campers at the back. Obviously, progressing this flank is good. I think that the other flank it's too open, and you do need to be hull down to be able to go that way. This tank hasn't really got the compression to go that way. So yeah, coming down the 1-2 line is what you want to do. We've bounced. That's the second bounce on that Mantis in this game. That's the problem with the premium rounds. They tend to have. They just tend to bounce off a bit easier. Going over, really want to get a shot into this Mantis, and we just do track damage. Not too sure how we hit. It looked like we hit the front of the track, and then we're going for another shot and another bounce. So you can see that's the frustration with this tank. Friendly tank destroyer there, reversing into me to stop me swinging round. Not too sure what he was thinking really. I think he just didn't see that I was there at all. But this light tank, it is circling around. He's probably identified that maybe that TD isn't the best, and he's just YOLOing in. Get a nice shot there. When auto-aiming, I usually just tend to hold the shot until the tank lines up straight with where I'm aiming, and that usually gets a nice shot, sort of auto-aimed in. T29. This could be problematic with its turret armor, but going over the top, and there's a tank over there with 1 HP. I always find it quite funny to see such low health tanks fully operational, but there we go. Hiding in these bushes. We do get spotted, which I was a little bit surprised by. I'm not too sure where I got spotted from. We do have what essentially is the Churchill AVRE down there, and looks like the enemy is pushing or trying to push our boast. Now the medium tank's gone down. It's only this tank here that's left. Put a nice shot into the side. I think he's just overextended just to try and get a shot in. He's tracked in place. I managed to track it as well. yeah, just keeping this tank in place. I don't use track mechanic, but I can see in these situations it would have been helpful. I'm assuming he's not using track mechanic either. It is something that I don't take track mechanic. I find that the repair kit is what I need to get out of problems, but we get some nice assistance on that, and we end the game just with over 2,700 damage. Nice chunk of assistance there. Get MVP at 1,700. Looks like 1,100 was before the tracking, so yeah, not a bad game on the Type 59. This game on Progorovka, this goes the whole way. This goes right down to the wire at the end. We start off usually in this situation. I would try and go along the centre ridge, but with this gun and the lack of gun depression, that's not really something I can really do. I don't have any of the camo set up, which I think for this tank it would benefit from having sort of a camo set up. As you can see, the camo circle, or the steel concealment circle on the minimap, is relatively small. There's bushes around here, but I haven't done anything to really help it out. I run optics, rammer and gun stabilizer for the equipment. You could drop the rammer or the gun stabilizer for the camo net, which is tempted to do. I just found without the gun stabilizer it was just all over the place. I do also have snapshot and run and gun, so this is good as the gun will get. On the crew skills, situational awareness, sixth sense, ball leader, rapid loading, steady aim, and then it's an 8 skills crew. The 8th skill is off-road driving. There's no reason really to have the off-road driving, it's just the crew I was training at the time. I just put it in. It's always good to have off-road driving on any tank. Really benefits from it. Just makes it a bit easier to get up to the top speed and accelerate and turn. Probably would use camouflage expertise as the 8th skill if I was really trying to sort of maximise sort of damage output of this tank. But as I said, it's just the crew I was training, and it seemed to fit okay with sort of all the sort of other Chinese mediums and heavies that I've been playing recently. So yeah, we're on, as I said, Progorovka. Had quite a slow start. We've missed a few shots, hit some buildings, and yeah, it hasn't been going too well. There is a lack of tank destroyers on this game, so that's why I've stayed back. Tend to find that when there is like a lack of light tanks, if you're in a fast medium, you know, you can take over the light tank function, and the same with TDs. If there's a lack of TDs, that does encourage, you know, maybe some of the more sluggish mediums to sort of sit back and try and take the TD bushes. So yeah, without any TDs over here, I decided hang back, try and keep concealed, try and just get shots in where I can. And we're starting to put a lot of shots into the Rhino there. We shut the Rhino down. I have noticed, and I think in this game as well, there's a Mantis in the other game as well. Lots of Mantis around, lots of Rhinos around. There was the 2 contracts that had was running over Christmas and New Year. I think a lot of people probably did at least one of those 2 contracts. I think both tanks, at least for me, were desirable. I think definitely the Mantis seems to be. And then I haven't played it too much after earning it, but it does seem sort of a Barras style of game style. The Rhino, yeah, was it a Tiger 2 hull with a a Carnarvon's turret. So yeah, interesting combination, those two. Got a couple of kills now, 2,100 damage, a little bit of assistance, but from a slow start up to over 2,000 damage now, sort of turned into a good game. I always, I've mentioned on some of my other videos, that was the second rhino being killed there by a complete lucky RBRT. It must have gone straight into its lower plate, but I do find that this tank is quite derpy. As you can see, the aim circle is quite large when you do move the aiming circle. It's just something to bear in mind. Get a nice shot in there, get that tank down to a one shot, seeing if there's any sort of slim chance worth a shot. But we're now at 5-5. The enemy team seems to have taken the hill on Prog, which it's not the priority for Progorowka. If you can control the 1-2 line completely, which we have, I think our friendly Mantis has pushed all the way up. You can then use the bushes and the trees to stay concealed, and the light tanks are doing a good job staying in the middle, keeping these enemies spotted, whilst I stay back hidden and just farming up damage now. Light tanks pull back. I'm just a bit concerned. The flip side of this is obviously if you don't have the spot in there, there's lots of ridges that the enemy tanks can use to approach. So I've tried just to relocate just so I can potentially aim down into some of in between those ridges, but it doesn't look like I am. And that looks like that Indian Panzer is using the exact tactic I was just saying, that use the ridge, go ridge to ridge, and eventually you'll spot them out on the in the bushes. So I've decided, without any support, I'm just a bit concerned that Indian Panzer will have support, and I just got this feeling that he was just going to YOLO. I think Indian Panzer's got pretty good DPM. This has as well. So even if I did win that battle, I would be very damaged. So still got full health going into a 3 versus 2 now. So quite confident we're going to probably win this game. Light tank at the back. I think he's seen what I've seen as well, that someone's pushing down that line. He's obviously pushing up as well now, trying to outspot them. Medium tank on the other side of the train tracks. I think he's gone down the wrong side of the train tracks. And yeah, this is where they've pushed. That Skoda T56 has pushed over across. I am concerned about that Skoda. If he puts 2 shots into me, that's going to be quite painful. But my allies getting some nice shots into that Indian Panzer to distract it. I'm just trying to get some auto-aim shots in here, see if I can get any aim for the side of the target, get a nice shot in there. Just concerned with this Indian Panzer. Although now, get a lucky absorption into the tracks from the Skoda, get a nice shot into the Indian Panzer. I'm now focusing on the Skoda. I'm relying on my allies to get the kill, which they eventually do, just to get some more damage out of the Skoda rather than the Indian Panzer. So yeah, that was the Type 59. I think it's a good tank. It's definitely worth playing. It's a fun tank. I think it's a typical sort of Soviet medium, low gun depression. You can get the odd ricochet here and there off the turret. I did have a match on Fjords that I bounced over 1,300 damage on one of the ridges, but it can do it. And not seeing tier 10s helps the armor as well. So it is that Soviet style medium tank with a gun that sort of lacks a bit of penetration, but I think on the whole, I think it's a good tank. It's not quite STA2 level of tank. I think the STA2 that has preferential as well. Japanese tier 8 medium preferential tank. The STA2 that could almost have that preferential removed, and it should just be just fine as it is seeing tier 10s, but it's not as good as that one. But I think for this sort of play style, I think it's definitely one worth playing, trying to mark and keeping on the rotation of when you want not to have to face tier 10s. But yeah, that's the Type 59 level 75 on the season pass. Definitely worth grinding for. It's a good tank and a nice one. So thanks for watching.